Then, my son, is your end near at hand, for your own death awaits you full soon after that of Hector.
Thetis, goddess of water and mother to the warrior Achilles, wept out to her son. For in this moment, the warrior Achilles was prepared to do everything to avenge his fallen comrade Patroclus at the hands of Hector.
I will pursue Hector who has slain him whom I love so dearly, and will then abide my doom when it may please Jove and the other gods to send it.
Achilles told his sorrowful mother, as in this moment she knew she had bred the ultimate creature of war, who under no circumstances would be brought away from the feeling of Hector's blood on his spear. But to understand how we got here, we have to go back to a simpler age, one where Achilles was not quite a warrior yet. Thetis, mother of Achilles, was forced to marry a mortal man, Peleus, father of Achilles and king of Phthia. She hated this mortal aspect of her life and could not bear standing having a mortal son, so for this she burned away his mortal side by placing him in the river Styx, which became of him more than just a man. However, this seemed to bring out a certain recklessness, and Thetis could see that. So when the Achaeans came looking for suitors that were bound by oath to fight the Trojans, Achilles joined the fight. Right before this happened, though, Thetis gave him a premonition.
If you are to stay and fight, you shall not return alive, but your name will live till eternity. Go home, it shall be forgotten, but it will be long before death takes you.
And try as she had, this could only entice the boy to continue on the fight. As Achilles joined the fight, any onlooker or Trojan could tell that he was the best of the Achaeans, for it was Achilles who cost the Trojans so many battles due to his prowess. Unfortunately, however, the leader of the Achaeans, Agamemnon, procured the wrath of Apollo, who ravaged their army until he would give the priest of Apollo's daughter back, which he had taken captive. Agamemnon, stubborn as a bull, unmoving as a mountain, would not back down until Achilles offered his lover to be Agamemnon's, a kind damsel by the name of Briseis. Achilles, frustrated with Agamemnon's entire handling of the war, chained down by his resolve to not bend the knee to the king he came to despise, doomed his brothers in arms to a battle they could not possibly win. And with the help of powers divine, the Achaeans were slaughtered. The Achaeans begged Achilles to rejoin the fray, but his will was unbroken by all, even by his comrade and lover, Patroclus. Patroclus begged Achilles to fight once more, but even by him Achilles was unswayed. "Let me moreover wear your armor. The Trojans may thus mistake me for you and quit the field, so that the hard-pressed sons of the Achaeans may have breathing time." The Iliad comments on these words briefly, as it was them and the idea that condemned Patroclus to death. For Patroclus did go into battle that day under the ruse of being Achilles, and he slaughtered many men, but it came at a cruel cost. As Patroclus disobeyed Achilles' word and continued to pursue the Trojans as they retreated, and a man named Euphorbus struck him from behind, leaving the killing blow to Hector. This action, especially known to Patroclus as he was dying, is what reawakened the fire of Achilles. Hector had now condemned his people and kingdom to Achilles' wrath. And so we are brought back to where we began, Thetis begging Achilles not to return to conflict, but his will was iron and stronger than that of his godly mother, and in turn, she finally lamented. Her only last request be that he go into battle with armor crafted by Vulcan. Tomorrow as he go into battle. And so he did. Tomorrow came, and so did his mother with the armor of Vulcan. As he put it on, Achilles stared into the abyss that would soon be his death. He stared with no fear, however, for he knew that it would likewise be the death of Hector. Achilles tore through the Trojans in search of Hector, lacking the knowledge that Hector had been instructed by Phoebus Apollo to not face Achilles in single-manned combat, for he would at once meet his end to Achilles. Hector had been forced to watch his men be ripped apart by Achilles. Men he held dear, comrades he had spent 10 years fighting beside, met their brutal end in a moment. It was only after the death of his youngest brother, Polydorus, that Hector could no longer sit and watch his people be slaughtered, and he faced Achilles. He approached Achilles ready at once to fight, but the powers divine couldn't have it this way. Minerva intervened for Achilles, and Phoebus Apollo for Hector, who brought him away, leaving Achilles to slaughter even more of his men. No soul could conquer that of Achilles on this brutal day. The Trojans were utterly ravaged by Achilles. Rivers turned red and attempted entrapping Achilles to put an end to his onslaught, but Minerva and Vulcan wouldn't allow it. No god could put an end to this campaign that the Trojans brought on by Achilles. Even Phoebus Apollo, pursued by Achilles with no end to his bloodlust. His wrath soon led him to a man that could not allow Achilles to ravage his lands anymore. Dressed in the armor of the man Achilles loved and spear in hand, Hector approached Achilles. With a strike to the neck via his spear, Hector had fallen over, in his last breath prophesying, "I know you what you are, and was sure that I should not move you, for your heart is hard as iron. Look to it that I bring not heaven's anger upon you on the day when Paris and Phoebus Apollo, valiant though you be, shall slay you at the Scaean gates." And he was right. When the Achaeans came to storm the Scaean gates, Paris, the man who began the Trojan War by kidnapping Helen, wife to Menelaus, shot down Achilles in the back foot with the guidance of Phoebus Apollo. It can only be thought that the grief of Thetis in this moment was immense. Her beloved Achilles, struck down in a single moment. She knew this would happen, but that doesn't change anything. She valued her son more than anything. However, Achilles knew as well. He lived a life of glory and victory that he knew would make him never be forgotten because of it.